Hello everyone and welcome back to another Mara stock chart planning update video. Things are a little bit different now for me. I got this ultra wide. I can finally look at OBS on the side while still recording this one screen. I was going to do a test live stream so then we can, see how everything works and then finally get it going. But I was setting this up right here. I was just going to do a test live stream to see how well it holds up. And then next thing I know, I had to enable something on YouTube and it takes 24 hours. So there's a countdown on YouTube right now with like 23 hours and like 40 minutes left. So that was unfortunate. I'm going to be able to do that tomorrow. But, instead of just waiting, I can make a video for you guys and just stay up to date, especially with Bitcoin's recent run that we just had. Also, one more thing. I was hoping once I connected this webcam to, it's a Logitech HD, the wide one with the blue lines on it. Once I connected to this new M4 Mac Mini I just got, I was hoping it would fix this little like flickering issue on it. I don't know. I messed with settings. I couldn't figure it out. It's been happening on the MacBook. It's happening here too. But, it's not terrible, so I'm just going to deal with it. And it'll be just fine. And then I'm going to have to probably change the position of my microphone unless I move the screen to this side. It's fine. I'm getting used to it. But either way, to get started, guys, of course, everything in this video is just my own personal opinion. None of it is financial advice because, I will be giving my opinions and going over some charts here. And I will be going over MicroStrategy towards the end of it for those of you interested in MicroStrategy. And of course, we're going to be looking at Bitcoin to look at the correlation that we have. But before we do actually get started, remember, guys, it is currently Saturday or Sunday? It's Sunday. It's Sunday. Bitcoin did go up a lot. And with that being said, we'll see how the rest of the day goes leading into Monday. But please do not be fooled with how this is going to influence Mara. But I'm going to get to that in a moment, right? That's the title of this video. Don't be fooled. Mara it's something else. And I'm going to get into that in a moment. We're over 10% up in November so far, and it's only the 10th. So that's a really good sign. It's going to look good. And then liquidation heat maps. We do see some resistance into the 80s. So we should see Bitcoin shortly at $80,000 sometime soon if this liquidation heat map is holding up whatsoever, indicating that a potential next resistance is between roughly $80.5 to $81,000. Of course, this isn't a strong indicator, but this is definitely something to pay attention to. And if we do fall any further down, we can see support still somewhere in the $78,000 levels. But again, this is something to look at. It's not something to take too seriously. But we'll see how it goes. I do believe we can just continue stretching up to 80K. And then with the recent U.S. presidential Trump win, we see Bitcoin going up quite a bit. It definitely surpassed this. And then Plan B on Bitcoin. I don't know if you guys know his channel, but I highly recommend him. He's a super smart dude. 500K target. Coming up like sometime next year, potentially, according to his charts. And I can see it happening. For sure, at least 150, 200K to be a little bit more conservative, but I do see it easily reaching closer to that than my conservative expectation. Before we actually make sense of Mara, we need to make sense of Bitcoin because it is the weekend, which means, we're gonna see something crazy happening at the start of next week because of this higher price. Now, with this being said, I kept telling everyone that I'm looking for. Ideally, I would like to see this price come down because we're seeing resistance right here. We're into this green area. We could push up higher, but I would prefer to see lower prices coming down and testing this imbalance like magnet area with the yellow supports, and instead we kept pushing up higher. And if I don't know if a lot of you were keeping close eyes on Bitcoin, as we continue to slowly trend higher and make in this smaller structure, make higher lows and higher highs, the RSI at the same time also began to dip and like making a little bit more leg room for another push up. Throughout this weekend up to this video, I was still hoping that, we can see Bitcoin come down, but instead it just pushed up. I'm not really completely sure what caused this to go up so much. It could just be like whales, or I don't know what's going on. But it could be also part of that BlackRock wanting to put in like 1.1 billion or at least or something like that into Bitcoin. But regardless, the price went up. And at this point, this is why it's so important to have a core position and to have another portfolio for short-term positions. I was not expecting this to happen whatsoever, so I did not participate in this rally. I did sell out of BITU, the short-term position, once we broke into this green area, and then we had one more pump. I sold, and then we kept pushing up higher, so I did not participate in this, unfortunately. But I am very, very happy with my exit point because I was not hopeful. I understand that, we don't know what's going to happen. No one can predict these prices. So once we broke into our resistance area, of course I sold. Like I'm completely happy with that, and I'm not I don't regret not holding on to it regardless of this much, much higher pump, even though the market hasn't opened yet for the stock market. At this point, we are just going to continue our potential support. We can remove, actually we'll hold on to this for now. We're going to continue holding on to this because this is now acting as potential support. If the price were to come back down, all of this consolidation right here is providing some value where it could come down, find support right here, just like this candle found support, and then push up higher from there potentially. But we can see support in here if we do come down. We are stretching up higher, so if any of you are feeling FOMO, it's up to you if you want to buy into an asset that's rallied so much. If you have a long enough time horizon, if you have a long enough time horizon, you can absolutely do whatever you want, because it doesn't matter what price you buy. If you have a long enough time horizon, the next 2 to 3 months, and your timer and your price target's between 90 and 100K, then it doesn't matter if you're buying here. If you believe in that time, it will be there. But if your time horizon is a week from now or whatever, and you're looking at 90K, between 90 and 100K, then obviously that's a point where it doesn't make too much sense. But the way this influences Mara, right? And we're still looking for potential a potential reasonable corrective rally. It still hasn't really happened ever since we started pumping up from here. So we're still looking for that. But the way this correlates with Mara is that Mara is still not being valued how I personally think it should be. It's still being valued as a very risk on, if that's the right word, but very risky. This tech company is not being valued how it should be, because they do have a very large balance sheet of holding onto Bitcoin. Holding Bitcoin, they also have a very strict policy to hold onto Bitcoin. They are very profitable than they were just over a year ago. Their debts are being controlled very well. They basically have zero. They're raising money through issuing more shares. And they are also expanding their operations into many other locations and countries as well, and have partnerships as well, indicating that, with what they have, they should easily be, because Bitcoin's making new highs. And Mara is still down here, even before the weekend, even on Friday when Mara was still at new all-time highs. Bitcoin was still at new all-time highs. We still see, Mara trading below all these swing lows right here, all of these swing lows. And then if you look at the bigger picture, because I'm just trying to keep everyone from being overly hyped and letting FOMO and hype kind of steer you in the wrong direction. Not saying that this price won't go up, and I'm gonna get that into a moment. But every bull cycle, you see all these bull cycles are lower. The previous bull cycle lower from here, indicating that the next one at a minimum should reach. Oh wait, this isn't a bull cycle. This is a rally. This was the previous bull cycle, which is, yeah, this is the previous bull cycle. This was the one before that. Indicating that the next one at a minimum makes sense that potentially we can reach $45 per share reasonably, right? That's what makes sense. So if Bitcoin's making new highs and Mara is just in a like sort of a big picture downtrend, then what does that tell you? That says that even though Bitcoin rallies up very quickly, does not mean that Mara is going to also rally up very quickly. In this case, even here when we started pumping, we kept seeing very shallow breakup structures that end up just pulling the price back down. Market open tomorrow, what we can expect is that there's enough, of course, bullishness in Bitcoin where we can see the price continue to hold in this green area, which may be the opportunity this coming up week if Bitcoin holds. And I'm gonna get into like there's a warning there. There's a warning, but I'm gonna get into that right after this. This next week, if Bitcoin were to hold its new levels and show consolidation and price strength, then we can potentially see Mara continue to hold above the 0.35 at $18 up here, above that $18. This can provide the first level confirmation we've been waiting so long for months. For months, we've been trying to wait for that first level confirmation. We almost had it here, but it broke down below. Almost had it here, broke down below. Same thing, broke. Same thing, broke. It didn't hold sustainably for a reasonable amount of time, enough to actually convince us of a structure. We're now oversold on the RSI, overbought on it. We can potentially see it rally up a bit more. But if we can hold throughout this week starting tomorrow, if we can hold throughout it, I can finally confirm first level of bullish confirmation in place, which will also be backed up by these higher lows being formed right here. Higher lows, if we can hold for this week above that 0.35, first level confirmation in, and then we can start looking at actually more serious long positions on Mara. It's been a while, but I'd rather wait to get evidence of bullish confirmation than to just buy because the price is down and that's the only reason I'm buying. It's like, no, I want the evidence behind it. Now here's the warning. With this recent rally in Bitcoin that we're now up a lot. I can't wait. Hopefully it holds until like Wednesday or Thursday. So when I do my Bitcoin portfolio update, the portfolio is finally at 90K. So we're very, very close to reaching 100K on that portfolio. And then, the warning is if Bitcoin were to correct out of a sudden, because it is very volatile and we haven't seen a reasonable correction ever since this swing low, if Bitcoin were to come down even just there at like 75,000 or low 76,000, just this little dip into support, could be enough volatility, if I said that right, to push Mara back down below the 0.35 green into this imbalance right here. We still have the rest of Sunday to see what Bitcoin's going to do leading into Monday, including Monday morning. And that's the two things I'm looking at right now. Can we hold current levels on Bitcoin to influence Mara to hold above that 0.35 current levels up here? Because we're, things are looking good. We're back up here. We have enough volume, enough momentum. RSI isn't really up there just yet. Can we hold throughout this entire week so we can actually start looking at a more serious like continuation of bullish structure to have that first level confirmation here before we reach second level above the 0.618, between the 0.618 and the blue one. That's a second level confirmation. This week, if we hold, we may be able to have that first level. The warning though is even a slight pullback in Bitcoin into that support, because we did rally up very, very quickly. I'm not really sure why we rallied. I'm glad we did. I mean, hey, my core Bitcoin position that I have with Coinbase that I share with you guys weekly went up a lot, and like it's really nice to see it go up a lot. So even though I missed out on my short-term trades, my core position still rallied, and that's why I don't really care too much that I missed out. I got out at a good time, super reasonable time to get out. But then the longer swing trade position kept rallying, because of course that's the core position. That's why it's so important to have a core position on whatever, in my opinion, it's very important to have a core position on whatever asset you're trading. And then, so I'm expecting Bitcoin to go up more throughout the next year. So I have a core position that's long, and then that's going to do its thing. It's going to do its thing. So I don't really care about like capturing every fluctuation. And then the short-term position that I like to trade with BITU, that's solid trade. We got in at a good time, sold, good resistance. We missed out on this, but hey, that's what the core position is for, and I'm absolutely fine with that. So any pullback, even to this support right down here where we have all this value, we come down, or even potentially high 77s, low 88s, could potentially be enough to influence Mara's volume, get this back below the 0.35. That's the warning. That slight pullback can put Mara back down below 0.35 and continue its sideways consolidation. So don't be fooled on this Bitcoin rally, because Mara doesn't really take Bitcoin rallies the same as, like, for example, MSTR or, like, of course, BITU or Bitcoin ETFs. Just because, like, if it did, I'm gonna say this one last time because I feel like I said this a lot. If Bitcoin was so influenced, and I keep seeing that flickering on my webcam, like I hate that, but maybe I'll get another one and test it. But if Bitcoin was fully 100% pretty much following Bitcoin, we would be up here. We will be more than up here. We will be in the 60s probably. We will be past these swing highs right here. But no, Bitcoin broke into all-time highs last week, held it pretty well, and we're just consolidating. And we're just consolidating right here. So please take that as the warning for what could potentially happen. So we're either looking at a week-long consolidation above 0.35, or we could potentially see it fall back down. But consolidation can mean even breaking above the 0.35, anywhere up here. But don't feel like you need to rush any trades. It might even be a good idea, even if this breaks up early this trading week, even if it breaks up and reaches that 0.618 or gets up there a little bit and into the 20s, it may be a good idea to start maybe taking time looking at it and deciding if short positions are going to be a good idea. Because at any point, Mara cannot sustain its rallies as well as Bitcoin can sustain its rallies. Even if Bitcoin goes up and Mara follows, eventually Mara needs to correct, absolutely, because it cannot sustain its rallies as much as Bitcoin can, and that's why we've been seeing these large swings as Bitcoin's been going up. We've been seeing these large swings. So a short-term position may be in sight, but we need to see what's going to happen going into this next trading week. So let me go over MSTR, like I said I will, and then and let's keep in mind, look at that, and we could potentially see, remember what I said on the heat maps, Bitcoin has potential resistance early into the 80s, low 80s. We can see that happen, but we'll see if it's going to act as resistance or if it's going to act as just a short squeeze. There's not a whole lot of shorts piled up in that like low $80,000 area on the heat map, so I'm leaning more towards potential resistance than potential short squeezes, because it's just, there's not a whole lot really. There's not really a whole lot. When it comes to MSTR, guys, remember, like I said this last video, any weakness in MSTR, regardless of this very impressive, like consistent rally upward, any weakness in this stock is a great buying opportunity. We could, like I said, we can potentially see prices come down, find support down here, but with how unlike Mara, now how Bitcoin is doing, I'm expecting this stock to open up in, like, potentially easily above 280, but we can potentially see the stock as soon as tomorrow or within the next 48 hours easily being, at $290 at a, or $290 at a minimum. Like, it's, like I said, any weakness in the stock as of right now, until we have a reason not to, we are always going to have great buy opportunities in any weakness in this stock whatsoever. Any weakness, like look at this weakness, boom. Up here, we are pretty much still up there, but this stock tends to go further and reach like 80 on the RSI quite easily. I still stand to this. Until we have a break of structure indicating that this rally is over, any weakness in the stock, in my opinion, is a great buying opportunity. So that's all I got for you guys. I hope you guys are, being cautious, but at the same time understanding that, even though you're being cautious and taking long trades according to your risk tolerance, understand that, reasonable corrections are necessary for healthy rallies. We didn't have that here. Instead, we pushed up higher. We have potential resistance coming up soon. And then Mara is very risky the moment this falls back down. So please, I hope no one is bothered that, you missed out on this rally, because I sort of missed out on this rally as well. I could have held on to BITU and made a lot more than like 1800 or whatever I made. I could have made a lot more going into tomorrow, because, we can see BITU go up even higher. But I had a good reason to exit when I did. So I'm very happy with that. And I still got the core Bitcoin position. And I hope you guys are in a similar situation as well. I'll catch you guys on the next video. And most likely we're going to get that live stream going this right here. Just do a little test live stream maybe tomorrow, and I'll leave it for like a few hours to see how it holds up. Yeah, I'll catch you guys soon. Take care.